morning we're going to talk about glucose factors, correct?
Let's do it.
Okay. Diabetes. It's a growing public health problem. According to the World Health Organization, in 2011, 350 million people have diabetes worldwide. It's classified into two types. Type 1, referred to as T1D, and type 2, referred to as T2D. And over time, both types of diabetes lead to serious complications for the body. Fortunately, diet and exercise can ease diabetes symptoms and help control blood sugar. And so what are the main nutrients that people take? I would say, would you agree probably alpha-lipoic acid is the first one?
Yes, it's a good one.
So, yeah, probably the most powerful. It's an organosulfur compound called alpha-lipoic acid, the mineral chromium, and 4 herbals. These are the main nutrients that people take to help with blood sugar. Gymnema sylvestre, fenugreek, cinnamon, and bitter melon.
Yeah.
So here's the formula. We've taken all the most important nutrients in their best forms, in their highest standardized forms, and in their full optimal levels. Alpha-lipoic acid, we put in 300 milligrams, chromium, 200 micrograms. Gymnema sylvestre is standardized all the way to 75% gymnemic acids. We put in full 500 milligrams. 200 milligrams of fenugreek, 20% saponins, 500 milligrams of cinnamon bark, 10% polyphenol, and 500 milligrams of bitter melon, 10% charantin. So these are all levels and nutrients that people take independently to help with their blood sugar. But to take them in their full optimal levels all combined together is extremely effective. We can talk a little bit about each one. Alpha-lipoic acid is made by the body normally in small amounts and is essential for aerobic metabolism. It's a potent antioxidant, and it's found in every cell in the body. It's called ALA for short. ALA helps the cells of our brain and nervous system function. It also protects the kidneys, lungs, liver, heart, and immune systems. ALA helps preserve the body's vitamin C, which we just spoke about, vitamin E, coenzyme Q10, which we produce less and less of as we age, and glutathione. It helps turn glucose into energy and is both fat and water soluble. And here's some data from the University of Maryland Medical Center. Several studies suggest that ALA helps lower blood sugar levels. Its ability to kill free radicals may help people with neuropathy who have pain, burning, itching, tingling, and numbness in arms and legs from nerve damage. Researchers believe ALA helps improve insulin sensitivity. In one study of 73 people with neuropathy that affects the heart, found that subjects reported fewer signs of the condition when taking 800 milligrams of alpha-lipoic acid orally compared to the placebo. And these are the levels I'm referring to. So if you look at a typical alpha-lipoic acid or blood sugar formula, just check out the level of alpha-lipoic acid and see if they're putting in these high levels. They probably are not. It may help protect the brain and nerve tissue. Researchers are investigating it as a potential treatment for stroke and other brain problems involving free radical damage, such as dementia. It's available as a pharmaceutical drug in other countries. And thankfully here, you can walk into a health food store. You don't have to go to a doctor, get a note, or a pharmacy. Just go into a health food store and get it easily. In Germany, alpha-lipoic acid has been approved as a diabetes prescription drug since 1966. Same alpha-lipoic acid that we can get in any health food store here in America. The next nutrient in the formula is chromium. It's mineral. It was not acknowledged as a required nutrient until 1977. That changed when patients receiving long-term intravenous nutrition without chromium were experiencing abnormal glucose metabolism. The condition was easily reversed with chromium supplementation. Chromium helps to move glucose from the bloodstream into the cells to be used as energy and to turn fats, carbohydrates, and protein into energy. Chromium is a mineral our body uses for normal functions such as digesting food, And Americans normally, this is a key takeaway, Americans normally ingest about half of the minimum suggested daily intake that we were referring to. So we're not getting enough. The next four nutrients are herbal. Gymnena sylvestre, we use the highest standardization, which is 75% gymnenic acid. Evidence demonstrates that Gymnena sylvestre can improve glycemic control. One study evaluated the effectiveness of Gymnena extract in controlling high blood sugar in T1D patients under insulin therapy. Using the extract 400 milligrams a day for 18 months significantly decreased FBG, HbA1c, and serum lipids of the patients when compared with a similar group who received only insulin. Also, administration of this extract as a supplement to conventional oral hypoglycemic drugs allowed the drug dose to be decreased. In another study in 2001, diabetic patients were given the same dose twice daily. After 3 months, FDG and PPBG levels decreased by 11 and 13% respectively. Another study showed significant decreases in FDG and PPBG levels with increases in circulating insulin and C peptide. It stimulated insulin secretion as well as a mild decrease in FDG and PPBG levels in T2 patients. The next herb is fenugreek, standardized to 20% saponins. Fenugreek is used for blood sugar, cholesterol, and digestive support. Fenugreek's hypoglycemic effect has been demonstrated in cell culture, animal models, and with humans in more than 30 studies. In human studies, usefulness of fenugreek has been reported in management of both T1D and T2D. One study showed significant reductions in FBG, TG, total cholesterol, LDL, and VLDL in patients with T1D. Another study followed 20 non-insulin dependent diabetic patients and reported a significant decrease in PPBG level. In a double-blind placebo trial, 46 T2D patients were given a drug plus fenugreek or the same drug plus a placebo, and after 12 weeks, the combined therapy had more effect on level of FBG, HbA1c, and PPBG. With a similar trial design, 12 newly diagnosed patients with T2D experienced decreased TG and the area under the curve of blood glucose. Also, an increase in HDL level and percent of insulin sensitivity was observed in the treated subjects. There was also a significant improvement in GTT and insulin response and a significant decrease in serum cholesterol and glucose output. They experienced the prevention of the rise of plasma glucose after meals and glucose ingestion in non-diabetic subjects. So let's move on to cinnamon. Cinnamon bark, 10% polyphenols. Paul Davis is a research nutritionist with the University of California. He says it does work. He authored a recent meta-analysis published in the Journal of Medicinal Food that concluded that cinnamon lowers fasting blood glucose. According to his results, it's a modest effect, about 4%. Keep in mind that's just with cinnamon, not the combination that we're describing. This is about the level of reduction found in the older generation of diabetes drugs. According to the American Diabetes Association, researchers studied to see if cinnamon can lower average blood glucose levels over 2 to 3 months. In people with type 2 diabetes in a well-controlled clinical trial, researchers found participants taking high dose of cinnamon lowered their A1C from 8.9% to 8%, and the placebo group was unchanged. The next herb is bitter melon. Bitter melon works to balance blood sugar levels. It's been shown to increase insulin sensitivity, promote insulin release, and enhance cells' uptake of glucose. Bitter melon may even improve cell function and act as an immune modulator. It can help maintain smooth skin and promote normal cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Bitter melon contains triterpenes, proteins, and steroids. A mixture of steroidal saponins known as charantins, insulin-like peptides, and alkaloids help maintain healthy blood sugar levels. other bioactive compounds in bitter melon activate a protein known for regulating metabolism and enabling glucose uptake, and that covers the formula. And the feedback we get is incredible. As I was preparing for this, I checked out our Facebook page, and if you have any experience taking our formulas and you'd like to comment on your results, our Facebook page is just Nature's Purest, and feel free to comment on any of the formulas or experiences you've had with any of the formulas. And I saw a testimonial that was just put up a couple days ago from a Scott D. McDonough. He wrote, glucose factors is the best herbal formula available that I've found. For me, no more metformin and no more Actos. My doctor doesn't like it. Too bad for him. And excellent A1C results for me.
Right.
This is simply the last word for diabetes management for me.
Well, for a lot of people, we've been getting good reports on the air with glucose factors. I mean, we've been getting phenomenal reports with glucose factors and what it's doing with folks.
Right, and getting the level, the amount that they need, as opposed to taking, off. They'll take 100 milligrams and they don't get the result, and they start taking 300 or 600 or even more, and they do. And quality, of course, makes a huge difference. All of our formulas are made here in America. We only use capsules instead of tablets, and most manufacturers prefer tablets for the same reason that they prefer synthetic ingredients, which is it just saves them money, and they know that, in general, the public doesn't know the difference. And so rather than buying a pharmaceutical-grade capsule like we do, which are incredibly expensive, oftentimes we're paying more just for the encapsulation than the actual ingredients. A lot of the formulas I see, I can look at the ingredients and I know that they paid less for that formula than we paid just for the shell, just for the pharmaceutical-grade capsule and the encapsulation. It costs more than most complete formulas.
Yep.
But the benefit is a pharmaceutical-grade gelatin capsule will dissolve within 30 seconds. It will even dissolve right on your tongue if you leave it on your tongue for 30 seconds. And then all the fine nutrient powder can dissolve easily and get absorbed into the bloodstream where it needs to be to help us, as opposed to a tablet when they glue it together and they compress it with hydropropyl methylcellulose and all these different additives. So manufacturers buy these additives so they don't have to buy capsules. They just mix together all the glues and gums and binders and fillers and lubricants and flowing agents, and they blend them together in a liquid with the nutrients, and then they crush them under thousands, and there's grinding, there's heat involved, which reduces the potency of certain nutrients, and then they crush them under thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch and turn them into these little rocks, these little bullets, and they're hard to swallow. And there are a lot of people that don't take these nutrients because they've tried in the past and it upset their stomach, and they didn't even know that it wasn't actually the nutrient. It was the manufacturer's decisions in the way they produced the product and what they added to it and the form they put it in that created the problem of upset stomach. They swallow that rock-hard tablet, it goes straight down, drops to the bottom of their stomach, and just sits there and irritates the stomach lining. That is what gives them an upset stomach. It's not the nutrient somewhere in that rock. It's the actual rock-like tablet itself. And oftentimes, it doesn't dissolve in time to get into the bloodstream. Sometimes it doesn't dissolve at all. It gets, there are reports of plumbers, guys that have removed septic tanks from backyards that were lined with vitamin tablets that literally never broke down. And that's because currently there's no legislation enforcing that vitamin supplements break down in any amount of time. Pharmaceutical drugs, there are laws. They have to break down. A tablet has to break down in a certain amount of time because somebody could die if they don't get their medication. But vitamins aren't seen that way. So we have to take it, as manufacturers, we have to take it upon ourselves to give people the best solubility and the best purity, which is a capsule. It's just very expensive. It drives up the cost of the formula the same way putting them in glass bottles drives up the cost of the formula. And there's no doubt keeping nutritional supplements in glass is better. Keeping food in glass is better. That's why I suggested that when people buy that large 54-ounce unrefined organic coconut oil that we produce. It's a big half-gallon thick glass jar with a big wide mouth cap. And I suggest that people hold on to those when they use up their coconut oil and store their food in those. And the food keeps a lot better. Glass is definitely a more effective barrier. And I remember taking a bottle of acetylcarnitine, 500 milligram in capsule form that we had in a plastic bottle for one customer. Some customers want plastic. They want to ship it through the mail, and glass is just a big problem because of the weight and the breakage. So we make some product in plastic just to help those people out. And I have one in plastic from the same lot as a glass bottle. We ran both. And I put them side by side about 2 years later. And immediately, as soon as I opened the cap, I could see a difference in the color. And it is a better barrier. Glass is a better barrier. Those plastic bottles are not a perfect barrier. Glass is a better barrier to oxygen, light, moisture, the elements that reduce the potency of a nutritional supplement over time. So if you can get them in a capsule form, they'll be more soluble, they'll be more pure than a tablet. If you can get them in a glass bottle, they'll stay potent longer than they will in a plastic bottle. And so these are just some of the other differences, some of the examples where we're taking the high road to try to give people the best possible formulas. It's ironic that we have the best prices in the industry, and I have to thank you for that. That just comes as a result of really hard work and not taking using the conventional formula, which in this industry is make a very, very inexpensive product, spend very little money on ingredients, have a huge budget for marketing, advertising, sales reps, promotion. It's all about the marketing. And then, unfortunately, the real loser is the public because they pay a high price for something that isn't worth much. And because it's a pill, it's hard oftentimes for them to judge how valuable it is. It's not an apple. It's not an orange. They can't pick it up and look at it and feel it and smell it and taste it to know if it's good. Oftentimes, they're just going by faith. And so you and I have done the reciprocal. We've done the polar opposite of what's normally done in this industry, which is literally put all of the money into the ingredients and the product itself and no resources into advertising, sales reps, promotion of any kind. And unfortunately, there aren't that many people that know about it. That's the downside. But the upside is the people that do know about it are getting these incredible dream formulas at very economical prices. And the line is broad. We have now about 150 of the biggest, most popular supplements in our industry that represent, I would say, 95% of anything anyone is going to come in looking for in the way of a nutritional supplement we have. So there's no need to buy these ubiquitous, popular brands where the potencies, the nutrient selection, the manufacturing quality, they've all been compromised, and their prices are higher. There's no need to do that. If you have access to Nature's Purest, you can get the best quality, you can get the best formulas, and you can get the best price at the same time, and get the best service, which is key because Nature's Purest is only available from authorized dealers where people can get service. It's not available in the mass market and the internet where people are going to have questions, but they're not going to get any answers.
Neat. I wanted to tell you too that we're getting more feedback on your coconut oil as being the best tasting, the freshest, the best tasting, the cleanest tasting coconut oil of all the different ones on the market. I mean, my hat's off to you. You did an exceptional job of sourcing out the coconut oil. Nice, raw, organic, processed properly, and in a glass container. That's the best coconut oil on the market.